DHIO, Denny Hamlin channeling championship vibes post-race in Martinsville, getting his 6th win at the track. Hi, everyone. Shannon Spake, welcome to a Monday edition of NASCAR Daily. So excited to be here and also rocking my Virginia is for Lovers shirt. All right, it's all about DH, Denny Hamlin, so here he is. DHIO, am I the first one to do this, or has any of your friends done this yet?
I mean, a few for sure. I do get checked by some fans every now and then who will say OH, and then I've got to finish with the IO. So, I mean, listen, I've got to be kind of real about my fandom. It is just a bandwagon fandom that I have. So let's just back her down a little bit. We might be taking this a little bit too far.
Yeah, because you don't want to alienate all the Michigan fans that are going to be out there in Brooklyn, Michigan, right?
Yeah, I mean that, and we're pretty close to Virginia Tech there in Martinsville. Let's just let's keep it friendly territory everywhere around.
Since we are sort of on that topic, listen, Ohio State, I've covered them many times. They're very polarizing. And this is a role that you've embraced, Denny, right? You've embraced sort of the, I beat your favorite driver, pulling out the 11 against the world. How much do you kind of think about, I don't know, I don't want to say the villain, because I have had people ask me that question, like, is Denny Hamlin like the villain of NASCAR right now? How much do you kind of think about that?
I mean, I think that, certainly it just kind of took on a role of itself. And I mean, I certainly have my part in it. I understand that I play into it. A lot of it comes from just the banter that I usually have day to day with friends and family and everyone. I always have banter. So, when the fans started booing and whatnot, a few years ago, and I just was like, all right, well, if you want to do that, then I'm going to show you. And so, then it just fueled me more to want to, be the guy that beats your favorite driver.
How has your process of prepping, like specifically for Martinsville? By the way, I'm the biggest crap talker there is, so I love it. I heard you say you've kind of like studied this track more recently than you ever have, and that's really interesting to me because I know you and I have talked before about sort of your process of preparing and the notes that you take and all of those things, which I think is necessary to have a career as long as you've had it. So, how much has your process changed specifically at a place like Martinsville?
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit, and it used to be so much easier to win there. I mean, truthfully,
and you were racing like Jimmy and Jeff, and you
Jeff,
say that, right?
it was the three of us. You could just mark it down for a 1, 2, 3 finish every single time we went to Martinsville, and that became easy for me. And so, again, today we have more tools that allows you to work more and work smarter. Where back then, like if you wanted to see what Jeff or Jimmy were doing, you had to go stand in the corner and just watch them go around lap after lap and like try to figure out, well, when are they? Oh, he's picking up the gas there. Oh, he's braking there. Now that information is out for anyone who can log onto a website. And so it's just it really made it difficult to, when I started to, hone my craft at Martinsville in specific, people saw it. And as soon as we started sharing that information, my proprietary information was gone. Everyone took, my patent and they just put it on their own. And it just made it to where the competition got so tight and so close. And so now what I do is I just try to say, okay, where can I still get a little better? And then where are the other gray areas in which I can find speed? Can I be a little better on pit road? Can I park in my stall slightly better to help the pit crew? Just little things to gain that little bit of an edge that I had lost over the last 10 years.
So this must feel like a huge victory for you because you won in all those gray areas. I get that. Like when you say,
Yeah, I mean, I think it just takes so much to win these races and especially races like this. Now, I said it in the media center afterwards that winning a race like this does way more. I can only speak for myself. It does way more for my confidence than if I would have, won a race because the leaders took each other out. Yeah, I won the race. That's fine, and it counts the same on the stat book, but it doesn't do the same when you go out there and you just kick everyone's ass, and it makes you feel like, okay, well, we got something here, and now I don't have to go over this huge grind that I have to do every summer and fall to figure out, okay, how can I get a little better at Martinsville? Like, I'm stuck in this rut of third to fifth place. What am I going to do? How am I going to find that edge? Now it's like, oh, I've got it now. And so I understand what it takes. And so just for me personally, I can tell you when you go out and you dominate like we did, it certainly goes a long way in the confidence of knowing that, okay, we can still do this at a really high level.
I'm gonna guess though when we head back there that you're gonna be like, "Oh man, I got to do it again," because you set the bar
I
high,
know.
and you're always chasing that bar. Is changing the setup of your car, especially at a place like Martinsville where you've been so good and had the setup, is it kind of like changing your golf swing? Like, does it take a second to kind of get comfortable with it, or did you know right away when you jumped in that car, like, man, this is it?
That Shannon, that might be one of the best questions I've gotten
Thank you. I've been
in
doing this a while
in the
too,
last
Denny.
few years. That's
It's the gray
amazing.
area. How do you get better?
It is. It's really, really, it equates. It really does.
Okay.
When you change your golf swing, it takes time to adapt to it. And not only that, it takes time to then change your car to adapt to that new style of driving. So, yes, I had to refine. And the best example I can give is Martin Truex kind of took over as the Martinsville Dominator about 6 years ago or so. He was really, really good. And he was consistently beating us at that racetrack. And so I studied him. And there was a time, I think it might have been during the whole snow race there. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we had some sort of rain, and I came back to the bus. I looked at data and I looked at information. I'm like, okay, when I go back green, I'm going to drive my car just like Martin's driving his. And let me just see what my car is doing in that scenario. Well, I went back out there. I drove it just like he was. And I was like, whoa, I need something totally different out of my car to make this work.
Right.
So it definitely is. It's a change in your swing. It's a change in, your arc of your shot, whatever it might be. And it's a process to refine that to make it a winning combination.
Takes a bit to feel comfortable. Okay, so first win with your new crew chief, first win with your sponsor, first win of the season, sixth win at Martinsville in 10 years, first in 10 years, and 55th overall. You're getting old, dude. That puts you 11th on
That's
the
not my
all-time
age,
list.
Shannon.
I know, we're just a fine wine. Which one means the most to you out of all those things that I just mentioned?
What did you mention?
I mentioned first win with your new crew chief,
Yeah.
first win with your new sponsor, first of the
Mm.
season, sixth at Martinsville, your first in 10 years, and your 55th overall. I know it's a lot. I'm asking some tough ones today,
I'm a
Denny.
pretty selfish person, truthfully. So it's easy for me to say it, winning there after 10 years is what meant the most to me. But truthfully, I said it right after the race, like Chris Gale.
That's
I
cool.
think he has just gotten so much scrutiny over the last few years. And I just wanted to win for him. He hadn't won since Eric Jones way back in the day. And, he's had a tough go at it. And I think a lot of it is he's had young drivers, like really, really young drivers. So he had to be a crew chief, a mentor. He had to do all the other things to help young drivers other than just concentrating on how can I make the car the fastest. And
Mm,
sometimes when you have a young driver, you have to change the car to not make it as fast, but to make it more comfortable for them.
mhm.
So I think that it was very, very gratifying for me to win for Chris Gale and, see that our relationship got off on the right foot. And so, yeah, I think he's my seventh crew chief I've won with or
Yeah,
something. We were trying to
a
listen
lot.
on the way home, but I'm missing one. I can't, I'm not going to say it on, I'm not going to say it on here because
It's like an Emmy speech,
whoever I
right?
lose, whoever I'm missing, I don't want to, I don't want to make them feel bad, but I could only count six, but I know I had some temporary crew chiefs in there when some other ones were suspended. So clearly I'm missing them in there somewhere, but for him to, be the seventh crew chief that I won with, it's just fantastic. And it just feels good to be able to go there at that track that I used to dominate and turn back the clocks.
Before I let you go, the flag, is that gonna be a standard for every time that you win, or is that just, I mean, we're gonna get a different flag?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was given to me by a fan.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yes, it was given to me by a fan. So it wasn't something that we had printed and had it ready for a race win or anything like that.
Cool.
I mean, I'm cocky, but I'm not that cocky. So
There was word that this is the first podcast you've done in a really long time. So my gratitude to you, Mr. Hamlin, for jumping on with us this morning, and congratulations. I'm a big fan. we've been friends and covering you since you were a baby, and so was I.
That's right.
And so I'm really happy to see you and go get him this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Really appreciate Denny Hamlin joining us as always. I look forward to seeing him the rest of the season. Of course, Denny Hamlin had the number one stat from this weekend, and that would be a winner, finishing first. But we've had some really cool ways that we can rank your drivers. We told you about this last week, NASCAR's collaboration with Racing Insight. There are some specific ways, some specific categories where we're going to be able to rank some drivers. It's our straight talk, straight stat. So the categories that we're talking about: passing, defense, speed, restart, and pit crew. Very cool, right? Yes, we're going to have someone on from Racing Insights, one of the stat guys. Russell will be on NASCAR Daily next week to talk about this and break it down. But two of the drivers who kind of stood out to us this past weekend in Martinsville, number one, that would be Ryan Preece. So Ryan Preece finished 7th, but he had a 21st speed and a 28th pit crew. He had this to say: I didn't expect that one. Of course, talking about the 7th place finish. Honestly, it all started with me messing up in qualifying and putting us back there. Ultimately, we got some great stage points and some great calls and great adjustments on the box, and we got this Fastenal Ford Mustang where it needed to be. So that was our first stat that kind of stood out to us. Todd Gilliland was the second. He had a 10th place finish. Great finish for Todd Gilliland. But his passing rating was 24th and his speed was 17th. Gilliland said, "We didn't make any mistakes all day and capitalized on others' mistakes and just kind of chipped away at it and made our way forward. We managed our stuff well and managed our whole race well." Listen, if it's not where you start, it's not where you race, it's where you finish. But we will be able to follow some of those rankings throughout the season, and we'll have more on that next week. Before we get going, best day ever is going to go to two guys: Steve Phelps, who is now NASCAR's first ever commissioner, and Steve O'Donnell, who's been elevated to NASCAR president. Congratulations to both of you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, NASCAR Daily. Jesse Punch will be here for a little social speedway. Have a great day, everybody.